Hey, David, when do primary polls start to mean something? This came in from a lot of people, including from Austin Wenger via Twitter. In other words, when can we look at primary polling data and historically say, now this is probably giving us a good sense of of who the nominees are ultimately going to be? Let's just look at the data, okay? We're currently 12 or 13 months out from the conventions, which are in July and August of next year. We're about 17 months out from the 2020 election. So this is like equivalent to early July 2015 for the 2016 election. If you go back to July 5th, 2015, Donald Trump was only polling 6.5%. So the idea there is you really aren't going to know in July of the year before who's going to win the primary. Trump was polling only 6.5% in early July of 2015. He eventually won the nomination. However, by July 18th of 2015, Donald Trump was tied for first place in the Republican primary. And from then on, he was basically ahead to the end, with the exception of a couple of polls in November of 2015. So on the Republican side, historically, by late July, like 2 weeks from now, you would know, or you would expect, that the leader in the primary polls would be the nominee. Now, on the Democratic side, if we look at July 5, 2015, which again is equivalent to today, Hillary Clinton was polling 63, and Bernie Sanders was polling 14. Now, what's interesting about the 2015 Democratic primary is that Hillary did lose that advantage to Bernie all the way up to April of 2016, where Bernie got within 5 points of Hillary Clinton. But then again, Hillary Clinton built that lead back up. And as we know, she ultimately was the eventual winner of the 2016 primary. So in 2016's primary, the eventual winner on the Democratic side, Hillary Clinton, was leading all along. But I know you will say, and I agree, 2016 in the DNC primary, there were certainly some irregularities there. So what if instead we look at 2008? The reason we won't look at 2012 is Obama was just the incumbent and there was no primary challenge to him, not a serious one that I can remember anyway. So if we look at 2008, in July of 2007, which is equivalent to right now, Hillary Clinton was ahead of Barack Obama. July 5th, 2007, it was Hillary 37, Obama 23. And of course, eventually, Barack Obama did win that primary. So that is the glimmer of hope that those who don't want to see Joe Biden be the nominee, like me, Joe Biden is not someone that I'm supporting, are looking at. Now, as we know, Barack Obama didn't take the lead until February of 2008, which is still several months from today, equivalently. So the takeaway is, listen, in general, in July of the year before the primary, certainly by the end of July, almost always the person who's leading the polls ends up being the nominee. In cases where the July leader loses the lead and does not get the nomination, the person who does is not that far behind. They're polling second. Maybe there's some examples of where they're polling third. So what this would tell us about 2020 is that if it's not going to be Joe Biden who's the nominee, and again, statistically, the most likely thing is historically Biden is the nominee. If it's not going to be Biden, history tells us it will be someone who is already polling well, which in my mind means if it's not Biden, it's going to be Bernie or Elizabeth Warren or Kamala Harris. Now, there are those who say everything is different in 2020. We can't go at all by what has happened historically with these primaries. And if that's the case, then throw everything I said out the window and anybody could win. What I think everybody should be doing, given the fact that it's likely we know where this is going to go in terms of who is in this thing, but that may not be the case, vote for whoever aligns with your values on policy. Activate and campaign for those people. That's all we can do, and demand that the DNC run this thing fairly. But that is where history tells us polling starts to matter, and it's basically right around now. If you disagree with me, let me know. We've got a great bonus show and plenty more time to discuss this there. Today's sponsor is Skillshare, and I'm excited to tell you that everybody in our audience is getting 2 entire months of free access to Skillshare when you click the link underneath this video. Skillshare is the site that offers over 25 3,000 online courses on almost any topic you can imagine: cooking, meditation, photography, video editing, Photoshop, managing a small business, almost an endless list. And whether you're trying to get ahead in your career, maybe you want to learn new skills that will make you better at your job, you might just be exploring a new hobby and you're trying to find new ways to be creative in your personal time, Skillshare's the perfect place to fully immerse yourself in whatever you're trying to learn. I really enjoyed the class on more advanced video editing techniques because it's something I've been wanting to improve at, but have been very busy hosting the David Pakman Show for the last few years. Once again, the David Pakman Show is giving you 2 whole months of access to every single class offered by Skillshare. After those 2 months, if you want to keep your subscription, Skillshare's super affordable at less than $10 a month. Get better at whatever it is that you're passionate about, or discover something brand new that you didn't even know that you would love, and join Skillshare's other 7 million users by clicking the link underneath this video.